Good morning. Today's class will be continuation of inborn errors of metabolism. Here we will start with the case study which can be given for your early clinical exposure or in the case discussion examination. So to begin with the case study. Here a 2 months old male boy baby. Parents got the baby with complaints of yellowish discoloration of eyes and skin for the 3 days. They also complained of abdominal distension with increased frequency of stools since 2 days. And the stools number of episodes were about 8 to 9 times, which was green in color. And the boy also had fever since 1 day. On examination or on inquiry, the parents said that there was no history of neonatal jaundice, or there was no episode of seizure, or there was no refusal to feed in the initial few days. Birth history. The birth history that was uneventful, and it was a first baby to a non-consanguineous marriage, and birth weight was 2.9 kg, and there was no significant family history. With this, the lab investigations were done. The LFT showed elevated enzymes with increased bilirubin levels. There was hypoglycemia. Complete blood count revealed increased WBCs. CRP was negative and blood culture was also negative. Torch titers, that is congenital infection, that is toxoplasmosis, rubella, cytomegalovirus, herpes simplex infections. The titers for these 5 infections were ruled out and it was negative. And then they thought of some inborn errors of metabolism, and the initial screening test was done in this case was Benedict's test, and which was positive. And then they went for chromatography to rule out which carbohydrate, and it showed high galactose levels. And on enzyme analysis, GALT enzyme was low. The complaints and the lab investigations together showed that is a case of galactosemia. Before going into galactosemia proper, we'll just see what is galactose and how it is metabolized and what is the significance of this. Galactose, we all know it is a hexose sugar, and this is released from the lactose. Lactose is a disaccharide made up of glucose and galactose. And galactose is released during the intestinal hydrolysis of this lactose by the enzyme lactase. The structure of galactose is almost similar to glucose. It has 6 carbons. It differs from glucose only at the 4th position in the stereochemistry. We can see the structure of glucose and galactose here. The only difference is at the 4th position, that is in the stereochemistry of this 4th carbon. Otherwise, the structure of glucose and galactose are almost similar. Why the galactose has to be reduced to glucose to release energy is that the enzymes which are involved in the carbohydrate metabolism are very specific. So they cannot act on the galactose. The galactose has to be converted to glucose before it enters glycolysis to release the energy. So we have to know how this galactose is metabolized and what are the enzymes involved in this metabolism. Galactose, which is released from lactose by the lactase, will combine with magnesium ions utilizing ATP with the help of galactokinase enzyme get converted to galactose 1-phosphate. Galactose utilizing magnesium ions in the presence of galactokinase enzymes get converted to galactose 1-phosphate, and ATP here acts as a phosphate donor, and this galactose 1-phosphate will combine with uridine diphosphate glucose and forms uridine diphosphate galactose. and releases glucose 1-phosphate, and this is happening with the help of enzyme galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase, that is known as GALT enzyme. Galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase enzyme, that is GALT enzyme, converts galactose 1-phosphate to uridine diphosphate galactose utilizing by combining with uridine diphosphate glucose, and it also releases glucose 1-phosphate enzyme. And this UDP galactose may again get converted to UDP glucose because there's only change in the fourth position of the carbon, that is in the stereochemistry. So with the help of enzyme epimerase, this will again get converted back. This is a reversible reaction. So there are basically three enzymes involved in it. First one is galactokinase, known as GALK enzyme, converts galactose to galactose 1-phosphate. And second enzyme is GALT, that is galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase, converts galactose 1-phosphate to uridyl diphosphate galactose, releasing glucose 1-phosphate. And third enzyme is epimerase, known as GALE, uridine diphosphate galactose, and this converts uridine diphosphate galactose to glucose and glucose to galactose, that is a reversible reaction. So finally, when this is released, when the glucose 1-phosphate which is released will get converted to glucose 6-phosphate, and then it enters glycolysis cycle and further releases energy. So coming to galactosemia, galactosemia is an autosomal recessive disorder where there is no breaking down of galactose is taking place. It is an autosomal recessive disorder where there is inability to break down galactose. This may be happening because of deficiency in the kinase enzyme, transferase enzyme, or in the epimerase enzyme. Because of this, there is deficiency in the galactose mechanism and there is accumulation of galactose in the body. So the severity is very wide. It may be in the mild form or it may be in the severe form leading to death. The treatment is usually avoidance of galactose in the diet, mainly from the milk sources, because galactose is released from lactose and lactose is present mainly in the milk and milk products. Three inborn errors are basically related to galactose metabolism. As I said, because of deficiency of galactosemia enzyme GALK, that is known as galactosemia type 2. Galactosemia type 1 is because of GALT enzyme, galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase. This is the most commonest form of galactosemia. And the third type is because of epimerase enzyme deficiency, known as GALE enzyme. So there are basically three types of galactosemia, 1, 2 and 3. Type 1 galactosemia is the most commonest and it is because of deficiency of GALT enzyme, galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase enzyme deficiency. Second one is because of galactokinase. Third type is because of epimerase enzyme deficiency. So coming to the clinical features of galactosemia, as mentioned, it is because of GALT enzyme deficiency and the mutation is there in the GALT enzyme, GALT gene, which is located on chromosome 9. So because of this, there is deficiency in the galactose metabolism. So galactose will start accumulating in the blood, leads to galactosemia, and also it is excreted in the urine, known as galactosuria. How is this galactose responsible for these clinical features? The galactosemia mainly affects the brain, the eyes, liver and the kidneys. In the brain, there may be difficulties, there may be delayed growth and development. Patient may have mental retardation. In the eyes, the baby may have cataract. Liver may be enlarged. They may have hepatomegaly, and they may have renal damage because of accumulation of galactose. How does this progresses? Because of the deficiency in the metabolism, the galactose is accumulated. So this accumulated galactose will go for an alternative process or alternative metabolic pathway, and that will produce galactitol by another enzyme known as aldol reductase. Because the normal metabolic pathway is not happening, it will go for an alternative metabolic pathway, so that galactose will get converted to galactitol by the enzyme aldose reductase, and this galactitol is deposited in the liver, in the nervous tissue, in the kidneys, and even in the eyes. And this is responsible for development of cataract in the babies and all other complications. And also, because of accumulation of galactose 1-phosphate in the liver will lead to depletion of the inorganic phosphate. So other metabolic functions are also altered indirectly because of this accumulation of galactose 1-phosphate, so that there is no availability of inorganic phosphate which is required for other metabolic functions also. So accumulation of galactitol, which is an alternative metabolic pathway, will lead to all these damages. So signs and symptoms, these are the initial signs and symptoms the baby will present with. They will present with jaundice, vomiting, poor weight gain, irritability, lethargy, convulsions, feeding difficulties, and they may also have hypoglycemia. Later signs and symptoms will include the development of cataract, hepatomegaly, splenomegaly, mental retardation, infection, cirrhosis of the liver, renal failure, and swelling of the extremities. And long-term complications of galactosemia includes poor growth and development, learning disabilities, speech and language problems, fine and gross motor skill delays. In girls, they may have ovarian failure and decreased bone mineral density. So diagnosis can be done at 2 stages. If there is a history of consanguineous marriage, or if there is a previous fetal loss, or if there are any unnatural, unexplained deaths of the fetus or neonates, then we can go for prenatal testing, where amniocentesis and chorionic villus sampling can be done, and estimation of different enzymes can be done. And newborn screening can be done by taking blood sample from the baby's heel and can be tested for different initial tests which are included in that newborn screening. And if it is a galactosemia case, the baby will have low levels of GALT enzyme in the analysis. The second type of galactosemia is because of galactokinase enzyme deficiency, which is responsible for phosphorylation of galactose, and there is mutation in the GALK1 gene, so galactose will get converted to galactitol, and galactitol is accumulated in the eyes, liver, and kidney, and baby may present with cataract at an early age. Third type is because of deficiency in the epimerase enzyme, also known as uridine diphosphate galactose GALE deficiency. This is extremely rare condition, and the symptoms may vary from mild to severe form, and it includes cataract, delayed growth, kidney and liver problems. Coming to treatment, there is no specific treatment for this, but dietary restrictions, mainly foods which containing galactose like milk products, cheese, legumes, meat can be avoided. But as the child develops, they will have another enzyme which is capable of metabolizing galactose. So as a consequence, they will be able to tolerate little amount of galactose as they grow. But in the initial stages of life, milk products should be avoided to avoid the further complications in life.